July 20th, July 20th, 2026, 10:25 a.m. Today I'm going to read to you from the book of Luke, chapter 11, chapter 12, and I'm also going to read to you chapter 1 of Proverbs. Luke, chapter 12, verse 5. But I will forewarn you, whom you shall fear him which is after he has killed has no power to cast into hell. I say unto you, fear him. Verse 3, I'm reading backwards. Therefore, whosoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. That which you have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. Verse 1. In the meantime, when there were gathered together immeasurable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware of the leaven, and the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. I'm going to read it forward now. Luke chapter 12. In the meantime, when they were gathered together, an immeasurable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. For there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which you have spoken in the air in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetop. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after have no more that they can do. But I will forewarn you, whom you shall fear. Fear him which after he is killed has the power to cast into hell. I say unto you, fear him. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2, forgotten before God? But even the very hairs upon your head are numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are more valuable than the sparrows. All right, so I'm going to read to you, and we're going to talk about the wisdom of Solomon in a nutshell, but we're going to talk to you in the perspective of a queen, particular the one that Jesus was talking about in the end days, in the times of Jonah, in the times of Noah. Luke chapter 11, verse 29. When the people were gathered thick together, notice they were gathered in Revelation, St. Luke, in Luke chapter 12. They were gathered also in Luke 11, verse 29. When the people were gathered thick together, he began to say, this is an evil generation that seeks a sign, and I shall give them no sign be given, but the sign of Jonas the prophet. For as Jonas was a sign unto the Ninevites, so shall the Son of Man be to this generation. The queen of the south shall rise in judgment with the men of this generation, and condemn them, for she came from the uttermost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. Behold, a greater then Solomon is here. The men of Nineveh shall rise up in the judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it. For they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and behold, greater than Jonah is here. No man, when he has lit a candle, puts it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when the eye is single, your whole body is full of light. But when the eye is evil, so is the body full of darkness. So I want to talk to you in Luke chapter 11. The queen of the south, she comes from the utmost parts of the earth, and she seeks the wisdom of Solomon. What's the wisdom of Solomon? She not only comes in the time of judgment, but she also condemns this wicked generation. For those out there that says only God is your judge, well, the queen of the south has something to do with that. So Jesus is saying it in Luke chapter 11, verses 31. The queen of the south, he says in red letters, will rise up in judgment with this wicked generation of men and condemn them, for she came from the utmost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and something greater is here, says the Lord Jesus Christ. Luke chapter 11. So what's the wisdom? What's the wisdom of Solomon? Well, in order to know who she is, let's read what Solomon had to say about Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1. The proverb of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the word of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give subtle to the simple, and a young man knowledge to discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. To understand a proverb and the interpretation of the word of the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Chapter 13 of Revelation. Here is wisdom. Let the one with understanding interpret. For it is a man. So you're going to need wisdom and understanding. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 2, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom. Is there instructions that she's trying to speak? Only folly would not heed the instructions. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, Jesus Christ, hear the instruction of the Father. I can only imagine that's what Mary was saying. And forsake not the law of your mother. Does the law come from God? Solomon is saying, from your mother, listen to the law. My son, if a sinner entices you, do not consent. Verse 9. The instructions of your father, and the law of your mother shall be an ornament of grace unto your head, and chains about your neck. Something you want to hold on to the angel of Philadelphia. Now, verse 15 from Proverbs. My son, walk not in the way with them, refrain your foot from their path. Do not walk in their path. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. That's common. Surely, in vain, the net, the internet, is spread in sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privately in their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which takes away the life of the owners thereof. Now, this is wisdom that's crying without anything. She's crying. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom cries without. She utters in her voice in the streets. She cries in chief places. On the concourse, in the opening of the gates in the city, she utters her words, saying, How long, you simple ones, do you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour my spirit unto you, wisdom says, as she cries. My spirit of wisdom. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called, hello, and you refused. I stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But you have set not at my counsel. You would not listen to my... When your comes as desolation, and your distress comes as a whirlwind. I hear many say the nukes go down, we go up. Wisdom has been trying to say something, and the world seems to ignore, hate the counsel of wisdom. For when she pours out her spirit upon, and she pours out the truth, and she goes across America asking for help, and you scorn and you mock and you laugh, wisdom says, verse 26, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fears come on you. When your fear comes as a desolation and your destruction comes as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish comes upon you, then they shall call upon me. Then they will help. But I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they will not find me. For they hated knowledge, and they did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way. The simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whosoever hearkens unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. My son, if you will receive my words and hide my commandments with you, so that your ear will be inclined to wisdom and imply in your heart understanding. Seek her as silver and search her for hidden